Hi, this is Steve Stein, and I wanted to talk to you a little bit about who your best friend is. And what I mean by that is you think about your guitar and then your gear, like your amp, for instance, okay? I was a salesperson for many, many years at a company called Schmidt Music, and one of the things that I dealt with on a regular basis is people would come in and they'd have X amount of money that they're going to spend. So they want to buy a guitar, they want to buy an amp, or both, or whatever. And what I want you to really think about is the importance of what makes the most difference for you in terms of your connection to your gear. And let me explain it this way. For me, my guitars have always been the most important thing. The amp has always been secondary to me. So if I go into a guitar store and I'm looking for a guitar amp that I want to buy, I will always bring my guitar with so I can try out the amp and I can make sure that it sounds the way I want it to sound. Because one of the biggest tricks about being in sales in a guitar store, of course, is that you can set up a student, or I shouldn't say a student, but a player that you can put them with a really great amp and then sell them a lesser than wonderful guitar because they plug into this amp and they go, oh my God, this sounds amazing, that sort of thing, and vice versa. So what I want you to always remember is that as you are on this quest for tone and feel and all these different things, you have to define what is going to be with you forever. Right? You might have an amp that you absolutely love, and that's your go-to amp. Or you might have a pedal that you always use for whatever, and that's your go-to pedal. Or if you're like me, you might have a guitar that is your go-to guitar. And so the reason I'm explaining this to you is because, like, a lot of times what people will do is they'll go, okay, I have X amount of money to spend, so I'm going to buy a guitar for half the money and then an amp for half the money, right? Well, now you wind up with two mediocre elements in your playing, where maybe what would have been a better idea, it's just a suggestion, is you could have spent more of that money on a decent guitar that really fits you. It fits your style, it fits your flavor. Not only does it look good, but it sounds awesome and it feels great, right? And then you get a lesser amp, with the intentions of somewhere down the road, you're going to get an amp that fits, but this guitar is what's working, or vice versa. You're going to spend more money on an amp because it really is the amp that has everything that you need, and further down the road, you're going to be looking at getting yourself a guitar that serves your needs. And even while I'm talking to you about this, I still always come back in my mind to where the guitar really needs to be, in my opinion, the most important thing, because it's what you play, it's what you feel. You can cater your amp, in my opinion, you can cater your amp to whatever. Once you've got kind of a sound in your head of what you want, and this guitar is pushing out, it feels the right way. You can always change the pickups on the guitar. You can always change the string style of the guitar to cater whatever it is you think you need from that guitar. But the feel is there. The neck feels right. The frets feel good. If you're playing up high for soloing, everything feels really comfortable. You're not being sold on just this, it's a Fender or it's a, Gibson or it's a whatever. It's still got to feel right. So I want you to think about that a little bit the next time you go shopping for something, is who is your best friend, right? Who is it that you have to start with? And please always remember that whatever that is, if it's a guitar or an amp or whatever, use that when you go in to try out stuff. Always bring that guitar with you and plug it in, and then manage what amp or what pedal or whatever it is that you're really looking for. If you have a guitar amp combo that is working for you and you want to try out a particular pedal, again, the most ideal situation is you bring in both of those, or you'd be able to borrow that pedal or rent that pedal or buy the pedal and bring it back if you needed to, or something like that, to try out in your rig. Because understand that the more famous guitar players do that all the time. They don't just you got to try it out with all of your gear to see how it's working. So always remember that. It's a really, really, really important tip. So who is your best friend, and how are you going to sort of mold your tone and your style and everything around that best friend? So take care, and I'll speak to you soon.